Howdy, howdy. How's it going? It's good to see you again. Wanted to quickly add this video as an appendage. Is that the right word? Appendage? Addition to my last Q&O I just did, sponsored by my generous patrons on my Patreon page. So, as I've said so many times before, I am figuring this thing out as I go. I am building the runway, building the airplane on the runway, as they say. So, thank you for your patience, first of all. And secondly, I want to address some things that have come up since posting my last Q&O video. All right, so the first thing is, I missed a question. And I want to address that. See, I'm figuring it out as I go. I sent out to people on Patreon, I sent out a Google form, and I said, please fill out the Google form. But then I also say or just put your question on the comments. And when I was doing the video, I checked the Google form, but I did not check the comments. So, Jim, I want to address your question, which is, yeah, it is a question. So let's see. I'll read it in its entirety here. Keanu Reeves was on the Colbert Show on May 11th. First of all, I wish I could get better at getting in the habit of watching the Colbert Show. But thank you. Colbert asked him, what happens when you die? Keanu paused a few seconds and replied, the people who love you will miss you. I was struck by how elegantly simple and profound his answer is. So my question to you, does it have to be any more complicated than that? All right. So to address Keanu's answer to that question that Colbert asked, the people who love you will miss you after you die. I think that's a fantastic, simple, lucid, Keanu-esque answer, and I think that closes it up. I mean, I think that's totally fine in and of itself. And so I would just simply say, Jim, yeah, I think that's a great answer, and I think mine might be similar to that question, to the question of what do you think happens after you die? Because any more than that is totally speculation. Right? So in looking at this from a rational perspective, that fits the bill, and it's really a fantastic, beautiful answer. So I think that's great. And anything beyond that is speculation. Now, I will say it is human to speculate about what happens after we die, and there really is no, we're all guessing, we're all speculating. Even the most hardened rationalist is doing nothing but speculating about what happens after our physical bodies croak. It's impossible for us to know. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and I think that's a great answer. So Keanu, first of all, his Twitter is like the best. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Jim, for reminding me to get back to this. And I know it's not much, but hopefully whatever. So, secondly, the thing I want to address today is, all right, so I made kind of the announcement of stepping back from my more preachy kind of devotionals, on the blog. And I kind of went into depth about how I just don't feel comfortable interpreting texts at this point, or really getting super biblical, because I'm just beginning theology school, and I just don't feel, I don't know what it is. I just don't feel like I have the tools I need to really do the best work I can in that area. I can speculate and whatnot, but as far as preaching the text, I think that's a big job, one that shouldn't be taken loosely or lightly. And I think that so many of us who have a platform are quick to be experts on things that maybe we should just kind of chill and, deepen into a little bit. So that's my intention behind that, particularly with my Sunday lectionaries, I was doing a reflection on the lectionary, which is like a liturgical calendar that we use for readings in our church, and I was doing that for a while. And now that I'm entering seminary, I just want to step back from that. So since I made that statement, I it's actually been really great. I got a lot of emails and just kind of like texts and comments and things like that from people, from readers who were like, dude, like I really was enjoying watching your spiritual journey, and I hope you're not stepping back from that. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who I've talked to and who has emailed in and left comments to say, hey, Jonas, like, don't shy away from this too much. Because in reality, this is hard. Like, it's hard to be vulnerable in a public arena like we do online. I don't want anyone to not like me, right? So I just have, and I think that this is a thing with maybe a lot of Christians. I guess I can only speak for myself, but like, I lived a long section of my life not really being a quote unquote Christian. Like, I guess I could say that I was a Christian, but like I was baptized and like I have somewhat of a churchy childhood, but not much. And so I went a long time being more spiritual, albeit secular. And during that span of time, I totally judged Christians. Like, I was kind of like, man, I judged them for being whatever, the way that I thought they were. And particularly the hurtful part of Christianity, I just didn't want to identify or be around those people, and I still don't. However, looking back, I do realize there are certain people of the Christian faith that I judged inappropriately, who are perfectly nice people and great people, who I shied away from because of how they identified with their religion. And so I have that past where I'm scared that, I'm not that I'm being them, because it really, they're fantastic people, but I'm scared that I'm entering into these false judgments that even I carried with me at one time in my life. So I don't know, I'm just on the area of like, I'm deepening in my faith, but I'm still doubting, and I'm still kind of going back and forth, and I'm scared of what you might think, and I want your approval. So it's hard for me to be so open about my religion, because I don't want to be in your face about it. I really don't want to be preaching to people who don't want to be preached to. So I want to be careful with that. And I hope that I will always keep my language open around this stuff. I won't be exclusive. I won't be exclusive with this language, and I won't be divisive with this language. So that's going into theology school. It's not just to get my certificate and check that box. It's really to help me deepen into this and navigate this new chapter of my life, so that I can say the things I need to say without being hurtful that, like so many people have. So it's hard, and it's complex. And so I kind of got scared. I kind of was like, I should just probably stay away from this for a while. And then again, but then I get a lot these emails and these comments, and that have kind of said, we really miss it. So I want to thank you for that, because I need that. As someone who kind of works out of a bubble in my little apartment here, I do need that outside voice, that nudge from readers to, hey, you're kind of onto something here. So I want to thank you for that. And it's really unique. That's what any of you out there who are wanting to share your story or your truth or whatever online and more publicly, that might be a vulnerable thing for you, whatever it is. Even if it's not religion or spirituality or faith, maybe it's your personal story of a personal struggle or whatever, and you're doubting that maybe. I just want to say that that as much as the internet can be a toxic place that might scare you from doing that, it's also, I pray that you find the people to keep you on the path, to give you those gentle nudges along the way to keep going, because that's very unique, I think, to the internet. Like, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 15 years ago, I don't know, like how is this possible? If I wrote a book back in the 1970s, I might get a physical letter from a reader or run into one of them, but like this easy access to connection is really fantastic. Anyway, I'm babbling. I'll stop. Thank you, all of you who have kind of like commented and chimed in on that, and I will get back in alignment with that, and I think I will kind of, the lectionary stuff, I probably will keep that on pause. It will continue. That will be my job one day, but right now I will kind of pause that. But sharing my personal story of faith and my personal reflections and whatnot, I think it is helpful and might help people deepen in their faith, because I do think it is relevant nowadays, if it's not hurtful and if it's held in a certain life-affirming way. So, thank you, Anik, Shanta, and several others I don't want to name publicly that have come forward and nudged me in that direction. So, that's it. Thank you again for everything. I wanted to reach out and just touch on these couple things. I'm going to leave you alone for the rest of your day. So, have a good one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you around the internet sooner than later. All right.